Good morning, YouTube. How's everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a good Friday morning. Uh, just wanted to stop by. My subjects are gonna be a little bit different because they're gonna kind of be kind of like all over the place. I'm just asking questions. Uh, but I wanted to tell people about a podcast that I've been kind of keeping up on. Michelle Obama and her brother Craig Robinson have a podcast on YouTube. And yesterday they had a special guest, which was Barack Obama, our former president of the United States. And they really had a candid conversation about men, their feelings, how to raise a man. Even though the Obamas had two uh, girls, Obama kind of gave his opinion about him being raised. It is fantastic. Go to Michelle Obama podcast, IMO. It's fantastic. The back and forth with Craig, his brother-in-law, and his sister Michelle. It was really fantastic. And guess what? I learned some things that I didn't know, and some things that I did wrong in raising mine. Right? So wow. See, I gotta call my son and probably do some apologizing because of not realizing because I'm not a man, right? So, when you're raising a man, you're just doing the best that you can with what you know about, right? So, I think I might have to apologize to my son, uh, and tell him what's up. Uh, so yeah, you guys go check that out. That's why I said, Matt, this this video is gonna be kind of all over the place. So I'm hearing about them taking cursive writing out of the schools. Now, does every child in every school have a tablet or a computer to do all work? Because if they don't, they need to know how to do cursive writing. Because what if the grid goes down? All the tablets go down, all the computers go down, all the phones go down, and we will have to communicate like we used to by writing, right? There's writing. So now you would have to learn how to cursive write because in order to present yourself to another person, they're checking out your handwriting as they're reading your message. So still teach your kids cursive because it actually does help the mind. People don't realize that that writing, taking the time to learn how to cursive write, uh, for all of us, we had to learn it. It didn't basically come natural, so we had to learn. But once we learned, and then we learned how to structure sentences and things like that. See, with these computers, you just ask GPT nowadays, and it will structure everything for you. So, in order to keep a good mind running, you not only need to be able to use Chat GPT, you need to be able to use your mind completely. Again, anything that I say on this channel is just my opinion. Doesn't make it right or wrong. It's just my opinion. Uh, but I think that our kids still need to have cursive, uh, and they still need to read books instead of just tablets, instead of just asking Google a question, or Alexa or Siri. Teach them how to research. Because what about when they get in college and the professor asks them to do a long paper? How are they going to do it? They're not going to be able to do it because their mind won't have that type of thinking built in or the discipline to actually sit there and do it. Right? Of course, they'll ask Chat GPT and all that stuff, but what about when you get out of college and into the real world? Are you're gonna have to keep asking questions, and people are gonna get tired of you asking questions about something that you went to school about. I've even had to train people that went to college and stuff and didn't know what the heck was going on. And I asked them, well, I thought you just graduated from college. You should know this stuff just by from you going to school for 4 years. They didn't. It was my job to train them, so I trained them. But that just tells you these people knew how to read, write, cursive, all this stuff, and still didn't pick up the knowledge. So just imagine a kid that never reads a book, doesn't do handwriting or anything like that. How are you going to sign a legal document? Yeah, we have DocuSign now. Don't get it twisted, right? But for that first thing on the document, you actually have to sign your signature so that throughout the document, your signature comes up. You know, they tell you initial it, but that first one, you have to know how to write in cursive to be able to get that signature on there. So if you don't know how to write cursive, now the Q will not take whatever document that you're trying to fill out. So yeah, so I would love for our kids to be better critical thinkers because I'm saying that they're not as critical. They don't think critically. You know, we're able to think critically because we were put in different situations to think critically. We've seen other people in situations where they had to think critically. And so we've seen proof of critical thinking and how it works. So these kids are not critical thinkers at all. Whatever somebody tells them, guess what? They just believe it. They don't research except the first page of Google. Google, what is this? And then they just read that and then they think they're uh, a professor. They think they're a professor on the subject when no, you need to get books, you need to get reference books, you need to get other books to go with that book to even actually study what you really kind of need to know. So I can just imagine the future of us having kids or young people, we're going to say young people running around not really knowing anything because Google gives you everything. Google, it does. I could ask Google anything right now and it'll give me a little synopsis and then I can take it from there and research it all the way out, right? But most kids don't understand that if you read something that's not the end all. They don't realize that's really just the beginning of learning. And see your mind, that's why we have to have books. Uh, because your mind needs to be able to go to different places. That's how you invent things. That's how you learn things. That's how you are able to see things in your mind's eye. Is a book. I love books. I've always read books. I started early on reading. And my mom said, you have to read from now on, right? You can't stop reading because it will mess your mind up if you stop. So I'm not haven't been up on it as much as I used to be. I used to read 7 books a week. Any minute that I had, even if I only could read 2 lines, I would read it throughout the day. So by the time the end of the day came, I was through. If I was on lunch break, if I was cleaning the house, if I was watching TV, if the commercial came on, I was reading because I've always enjoyed reading. I kind of liked it reading more than I liked the television when I was smaller because it actually took me out of the situation that I was actually in and it made me travel all over the world. It made me try to understand the mind of the author, right? And then this is the trip. Not only when I was little, my mom had us to do a book report every week, mandatory, because she wanted to know what our level of reading was, our thinking, our handwriting, our understanding of what we read, and did we comprehend what we read, and could we use it in real life. So she would pick different subjects, and then sometime we would get to pick the subject that we would be reading on. My mom kept me at the library. I see a lot of libraries closing down. These kids really need those libraries because, like I said, they're in tablets all the time. They're playing video games, and it is really actually doing something to their mind. When you ask them a question, it could be something simple. They don't even know the answer, but they'll tell you, and their parents will tell you that they're smart. Most of the kids nowadays, they kind of mumble. We were taught to bring it up out of our diaphragm, our chest, our mouth. These kids, you have no idea if you talk to them for a half an hour what they are saying. Because no, I don't think that people are too interested in other people. Most people are basically kind of just interested in themselves. So they don't realize as a child is growing up, that child needs more than clothes. It needs more than food. It needs more than heat. It needs more than a pat on the back. It needs teaching. You're supposed to teach your kids history. Don't matter the culture that you are. You're supposed to teach that kid that history. You're supposed to teach that kid about the community. You're supposed to teach that kid about senior citizens. You're supposed to teach that kid about self-worth, self-esteem, on how to do taxes, on how to do finances. Most of the kids, by the time they're grown, they know nothing. Yeah, nope, they don't know anything. Ask them about the stock market. They couldn't tell you what a bull or a bear was. Because they have no idea, because no one thought, hey, we better introduce these kids to these different things so that if something happens to us, they will know how to be self-sufficient. So yeah, that's my opinion on the kids with the cursive writing and the book reading and whatever. So now I also wanted to kind of piggyback on what I was saying a little bit earlier with uh, the ex-president Barack Obama and his wife Michelle and her brother Craig Robinson. I'm telling you this, you got to go check it out. Plus the podcast itself is a really good podcast because the people that they bring on there, it's not like regular television. You can actually be yourself on there, so you can state an opinion the way you want to state your opinion. Fantastic. So I wanted to ask a question kind of piggybacking off of their podcast. So my question is, let me grab my little glasses here. Uh, my question today is, can men really tell us how they feel? Can men really tell us how they feel? That's the question I'm asking today of my of my subscribers. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I appreciate everybody. But yeah, that's the question. Can men really tell us how they feel? Right? Because especially as women, we will kind of bite back at them. Right? So can men really honestly tell us how they feel? Because us women, we got something for everything. We most of us, if he say something, we got something to say, right? So he will regress into a shield. I mean, like a barrier. He will, put that barrier up and not talk to you. So I want to know, in 2025, Can men really tell us how they feel? And can we really accept how they feel? Because, of course, us older people, we were taught in a set manner. Men don't cry. Men are the protector. Men are the person who's supposed to go out and work. Men are supposed to be the leader of the house. See, we were taught that. But nowadays, that's not true because it's not a lot of strong men leading the households. There is men leading their households. Don't get that twisted. There are men who are leading their households, who provide for everyone in the household. They protect them, they counsel them. Hey, the whole thing. They got their arm around the whole house. So it is some men out there that is doing that, but it's not enough for our society, that, in my estimation, for it to move forward. So yeah, answer me that question, you guys. Can men really tell us how they feel? And tell me why you think that they can't tell us how they feel. And what can we do as women to help them tell us how they feel? Because that right there, that's pretty deep. Because men really don't basically kind of talk to women except on the surface. They kind of talk to them just on the surface. So, y'all let me know in the comments. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Let me know. Anytime I ask a question, just put a comment down there. Let me know how you guys are feeling. I definitely appreciate the people who stop by the channel and check it out and give it a like. Uh, Hopefully, as the channel grows, we'll have bigger and better content, be out and about in different areas. Uh, so, yeah, I appreciate you guys. I enjoy talking. Well, I got a big mouth, so I enjoy talking, but I enjoy well, it's not really a back and forth, except if you guys comment. But I really enjoy making this content for you guys. So, yeah, matter of fact, since we're on that, tell me what you guys want to talk about. What you want me to discuss on the channel. What's your concerns? Is it school boards? Is it city councils? Is it the president of the United States? Is it the military? Is it for senior citizens, for kids, for toddlers, for infants? Whatever it is, let me know, comment, and down there, I'm gonna start looking at the comments. I do read some comments. We're not getting many comments just yet, but hey, I appreciate the ones that do. Believe me, the people who stop by the channel, that tell other people about the channel, I really appreciate them. Because I'm in a lot of lives every day, and we're discussing each other's channel and how to get bigger and better. So I really do appreciate you guys. Okay, YouTube, I'm out.